47 Meters Down was originally supposed to be distributed by Dimension, who's owned by the Weinsteins. They renamed the film In the Deep, and they weren't happy with the production, so they planned to bury it straight to video on demand and DVD in August of 2016. After the success of another shark movie, The Shallows, in July of 2016, Entertainment Studios bought the rights, and since they saw this was a rather good movie, they canceled the DVD release and announced it would be hitting theaters in June of 2017 under the original title, 47 Meters Down. Screeners and DVDs already went out, so even though the film wouldn't be released for another year, some reviewers and retailers already saw the movie. The Weinsteins almost struck again. With that out of the way, let's talk about the movie itself. I somehow managed to avoid all the trailers for this, so all I knew about the film was that it had Mandy Moore and sharks. I went in almost completely blind. If you don't know anything about the movie, I recommend you do this too. The movie is very good, and you should definitely check it out if you like shark survival movies. However, if you want to know more, keep listening. I'll talk a little bit more about the film. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I definitely think you'll enjoy it more if you know less. The movie's about two sisters that are in Mexico on vacation. They get talked into doing a cage dive so they can see sharks. Unfortunately, the cable holding the cage snaps, and they're trapped 47 meters underwater with less than an hour of oxygen. Oh, and they're surrounded by sharks in a feeding frenzy since the guys in the boat chum the water. As you would expect from this kind of movie, things go from bad to worse to even worse. I really enjoyed this. A good chunk of the film was just the two sisters in the cage, and they did an excellent job of keeping it engaging enough so it wasn't just the two of them crying the whole time. They were communicating with the surface and trying to figure out how to survive. I also liked that they gave valid reasons as to why they couldn't just swim up to the surface. That helped to make the whole thing feel more dangerous. It was nice to see Mandy Moore in a fairly large live-action film again. Her character didn't want to do this, and when she was stuck in this situation, you couldn't help but feel bad for her. I'm not sure how they did the sharks in the movie. If they composited in shark footage, or if it was CG, or some mixture of both. Whatever it was, it looked real and definitely added to the fear factor. As for the bad, the sharks were way too aggressive, to the point of being comical. They're like, I think it's okay. Oh no, shark! And another one! And another! Chomp, 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 chomp. It would have worked more if they did that a little bit less. There were some questionable edits when the cage was sinking. The way it was shot was so haphazard, I thought it drastically undercut the scares that the scene should have had. Some of the shark attacks were filmed a little too close, so you couldn't see exactly what was happening. I wonder if this was done to keep the PG-13 rating. It still had a lot more blood than I was expecting, but never veered into gory territory. After watching the movie, I watched the trailer, and wow, does it ruin the movie. Not sure how they did it, but they managed to cram in pretty much every shark sighting in 2 minutes. Whoever cut the trailer should get a Golden Dumbass Award. 47 Meters Down is quite good. It's a solid blend of suspense and scares. They did a great job of relaying the helplessness of being in this situation, although I am far too much of a chicken to go anywhere near something like this in real life. I'm glad this was saved from the Weinstein's clutches. It was nearly buried, and a small fraction of people would have seen it compared to the audience it has now. Some minor nitpicks aside, this was a really entertaining flick. Okay, I need to talk spoilers for a minute, so shut this off if you haven't seen the movie yet. I liked how once the girls were at the bottom, it wasn't 100% clear if the guys in the boat had left them or not. It kept me on edge because I was wondering if they made it back to the surface, if anyone was going to be there. The hallucination was a good idea, poorly executed. When they announced the whole, if you switch your tanks, it increases your chances of hallucinating, I knew it was going to happen. I also figured it out as it was happening because they were getting nipped at by like 3 sharks and it felt so over the top, I was thinking this has to be fake. If they would have handled it better, maybe having an offhand remark earlier in the film, it wouldn't have been so blatantly obvious. I felt so bad for Mandy Moore. The whole time she's like, I don't want to do this. Please don't make me do this. I don't want to do this. And his sister keeps pushing her. Then finally when they were trapped, I was waiting for the, this is all your fault. Because it totally was. It was all her fault. When the sister got eaten, that was a major unexpected moment. I thought they were either going to both live or both die. Also, I think the better ending would have been Mandy Moore drowning, but thinking she survived. Although I was rooting for the Coast Guard to get to her in time. This scene, as ridiculous as it is complete nightmare fuel. Yeah, I'm not going near the ocean anytime soon.